Hello, Valentina. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thank you for accepting our invitation to the podcast. So in English, it will be in English today. It's freelance and you in English. So can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me and having me here.
Welcome.
And thank you for doing it in English, especially. um, my name is Valentina. I'm a graphic designer from Venezuela. And yeah, I've been doing graphic design for maybe 8 years now.
Nice.
And yeah, that's me.
Okay, nice. And you live in France, right?
I'm living in France, in Toulouse, but I'm
Okay.
originally from Venezuela.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Thanks. And can you tell us how did you get into freelancing?
So that's kind of like a long answer question because I feel like designers are always freelancing a little bit on the side,
Most
or
of the
at
time.
least this is my case. Even when I got like a job, my first design job, I was always doing a few things on the side for friends and family, but I tried to be a full-time freelancer back in 2019.
Okay.
I started freelancing for a Canadian agency, and very quick that turned into a full-time job.
Okay.
I accepted as a full-time job, so I didn't freelance for that long. It was a remote job, but not like freelancing.
Okay.
And this time, I just so I stayed with them 3 years until July of last year,
Okay.
and then I just started freelancing full time. So now, since 2022, I'm freelancing full time. Yeah,
Okay, nice.
that's
But
how I
but
got it.
uh, but as you were, working remote, have you felt, being a freelancer, as there is nobody behind your back, for example?
Um, do you mean if I miss it, or is it good or bad?
No, I
Is
mean,
that your question?
as you were working, on remote, uh,
Yes.
you were basically, acting as a freelancer. There is no
Yes.
one behind your back. You can choose your work hours, etc.
Yeah. Well, and not really. It was like
Oh, okay.
at the beginning, yes, because I was freelancing, so I worked by hours, but then I just took on a full time job. So I did have like a team working with me, or I working with a team, and I had a schedule too. Like I had to work from, I don't remember, like 8:30 a.m. until like
Okay.
5.
Okay.
So being in France is not very easy because that's
Yes.
1:30 to at that moment it was 1:30 p.m. to like 22 hours or 10 p.m. at night. But yes, I did have to. So that's why I don't call it like freelancing.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
just I only had that client. I of course did a few things here and there, but nothing like very formal, just for friends. And yeah.
Okay. So basically, you were trying to adapt to the different time zone.
Yes, yes. I did have a little bit of, I could start a little bit earlier
Okay.
and finish a little bit earlier too, because of course they knew it wasn't easy for me to just work all afternoon until late at night. And of course my social life was almost zero. Like I
Okay.
didn't do anything beside that. But yeah, I did had to be there when they were working, basically.
Okay. And what are the challenges that you faced when you wanted to start as a freelancer?
Well, I'm still uh, uh, I'm still dealing with these challenges because I feel like I just started. It hasn't been like, I think it has been like 6 months since I started again to try to, to freelance full time. I feel like the biggest one is the working on my communication skills is a big one for me. I feel like it depends on everyone. Everyone is different, of course. But for me, like being able to communicate with the people I work for, it's almost like I have to take care of like myself and the work I'm doing. Is I don't have this team that is, sending invoices, taking feedback from clients. So for me, that's a big one. And also finding and searching for work is hard for me, but I feel like that's a personality thing. I don't know if it's like that for everyone. Like I have a little bit of hard time to, to sell myself and say, hey, I'm a graphic designer. This is my incredible work. And just you have to hire me. So those two things are kind of like the biggest one. And maybe I recently learned that it's also a little bit hard for me to deal with the quiet times when there are, for example, just because of the Christmas break, I had 2 weeks where I wasn't working that much. And I was like, oh my God, this means that money is not coming in, right? So, but I handle it okay. I just find that I have to I have to learn to deal with that too. Yeah.
Yes, and that's not an easy part to. I don't like to say I have to sell myself because it's very difficult. Most of the time, you're trying to find clients, and then you have to, as you said, here is my incredible work, but it's not always easy, and of course, clients don't look at your work the same way you do. So it's like it's very difficult to make them understand that you're able to do some stuff for them. And but it's part of the job. As a freelancer, you have to find clients and make them understand that you're able to do the work. You will do your best, etc. But it's not easy. So good luck with that.
Thank you. And it's very tricky because, like I think I freelance in a particular way. I don't exactly work directly with the clients, but I do send emails to find projects inside of agencies. And but definitely, like, if I want people to see what I'm capable of doing for them, I really have to show that in a coherent, structured way. And that has been challenging too, because I'm like, I'm just going to put some these nice photos and images in my website. And of course, they will know I can just do a branding, right? A brand design. And it's not that easy. So I feel like I have, like designers have to take care of that too, like really showing, at least when you're starting. If then like a lot of people knows you, that's different. Yeah.
Yes, because basically you have to detail your work so the client understand basically from where you start and also where they want to go basically. So it's not always easy. I wanted to ask you, what are the resources that you used to start from the beginning?
And the resources, well, not many, I guess. Maybe like, do you mean like tools or?
Maybe tools, but to start your journey as a freelancer, what did you use to start?
So I don't feel like I started in a very smart way. I wasn't. I am not that prepared. Like for For example, I do have a few tools I use for business that help me a lot. Or not a few, maybe a couple. But I don't know if this is going to sound bad, but like the main resource is the networking and the people I know in the design field. Like, I've been having work thanks to the people that I know, and especially friends. That's like, and I'm actually like kind of like surprised that I'm getting a lot of work from them, and that's amazing. So I think that's the main resource, the networking. But of course I also had to prepare, you know, I had to get things done, like my website, you know, taking a professional photo, those are small things that sometimes we don't talk about. Saving a lot of money to just, to allow myself to, you know, to have like some time to maybe not having any work, or so I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
No, but it's I think it's nice because most of the time you don't get job from your friends except if they are very, very nice. And I think that's very interesting because as you said, you know, you saved money by maybe asking a friend who is a photographer, etc. So I think it's nice because they know you first. So I think that they are trying to help you, and they also know that you know, they know your abilities. So basically, I think that's very nice, and I think at least you can say that you have good friends. So
that's good friends.
Yes, and
I believe I do. Yeah, for sure. I'm very thankful to them. Yes.
So yes, so thanks to Valentina's friends. That's very nice from you to try to help her. And, yes, I wanted to ask you, you know, as you made the transition from being an employee to being a freelancer, what are the benefits of being a freelancer now?
There are the typical things we talk about, like time management and all that. Like, you can do whatever you want, and of course, that's an important one. But for me, I think managing my creative flow, I don't know how to call it. Is maybe
I understand
the most. Yes. It's maybe the one thing that I really find that has changed a lot for me, because it's not like, you know, sometimes I start my day a little bit slow. I don't start working right away, or sometimes I do if I feel like it. And so being very aware of when I feel creative, and when of course, I don't believe in the inspiration comes just like that, right? Like magically. I do believe that you have to sit and do the work in order to feel inspired. But just being able to, you know, to take breaks, to take maybe a long break after an intense session of work, and all that is very, very helpful. I feel like I'm more creative. I feel like I even do the work more efficiently, which I didn't think about, like it was going to be like that. It was like, oh, maybe I'm going to procrastinate more, and not at all. It's sometimes the flexibility gives you, I don't know, maybe allows you to do things better. I think so. That's the biggest one for me. The benefit.
That's very interesting, because I feel that you are working when you feel that you can work, basically. And the thing is that when you are trying to, as you said, when you're trying to create, and you told me creative flow, that's very interesting, because you can't, as you said, you know, sit at 8 a.m. in the morning and say, I'm going to start to create, basically, because it comes, you know, in a certain way. And I think that's amazing because you can basically only create when you are inspired, etc. So if you're not, definitely you are not going to produce anything. And yes, I think that's a good way to work.
I think I can, like right now, I feel like I don't really need to feel inspired in order to create, but maybe not having to be 8 hours straight, like creating things, allows me to feel more creative during the day. So maybe I work a little bit, like 4 hours in the morning, and then I do 6 hours on the afternoon until night. You know, I do work more hours than before. But yeah, it's nice.
That's nice. Yes, I think it's a nice way of doing the things, because you only do them when you feel you can do them, and you don't feel any pressure this way, I think, because you work better, and definitely as you said, maybe you procrastinate sometimes, but you need it so you can be more active and creative in the next shift. So that's that's cool. And then I wanted to ask you, what is the biggest mistake that you made as a freelancer?
That's a hard one, because I feel like I make mistakes every day. Every single day I'm like, why did I do this? I have this list. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like the biggest mistake, but that I needed to make, was accepting to work by hours back in 2019. But I needed to go through that. Now I know that it was the biggest mistake, because in the design world, people always tells you, you don't work by hours. That is like selling your soul to the devil, right? And at the time I was like, well, I'll get used to it. 3 years later, I didn't get used to it. So, but it allowed me to know like what works for me. So it was the biggest mistake, but it was also very helpful, I think.
So it helped you basically to be there today. So
exactly, yeah.
Nice.
Yes,
that's
sure.
Nice. So don't do it again. So
no, I mean, there are some exceptions, of course. Like if I'm doing like a big project for a client, I charge on a project based. But if I have to do edits, that maybe will take me a little bit of time, maybe not even a day. I do the charge them by hours, but it's not like entirely my work is determined by the hours I put on it. Or for sure,
you talked about editing, basically. So how do you deal with this? Because I know that clients sometimes, they are not happy with designers' work. So can you tell me how do you deal with this?
Well, because I feel like I'm cheating, because I don't work most of the time. I don't work directly with the client, so I'm not the one that is receiving all this feedback from the client directly. But I feel like I just think that is very important. And when you start designing, people tells you this, but you don't understand it completely, which is you don't have to take feedback personally. And at the beginning, of course I did. I got sad, angry, because the client didn't like what I did, which I know is best for them, And now I'm like, I just try to find a middle ground. And of course, if there are some things that I'm sure I'm not going to work, I rather not do it. And I would say, you know, I'm not capable of doing this. Maybe you need to contact someone else. But it hasn't got to that point just until now. I feel like there's always, if you have a good reasoning and the client can understand where you're coming from, why you are suggesting those things, and finding middle ground is not that hard. As long as you talk clearly to the client, be honest, and they too, of course, I think it's not that difficult, I think.
That's interesting what you said about feedback, because I know that feedback is very important, but you have to know how to give a feedback. And I think that most of people don't know how to give feedback, but definitely you don't have to take it personally, because feedback, if negative, is not, you know, a stopped affirmation of what you are at the end of the day. It's only you know, about the job you made. But if, you know, people know how to give feedback, it will be better, of course. But you never have to, you know, take it personally, because it's only about work at the end of the day. And you know, they often say, you know, you don't have to take things personally. So
no, of course the feedback has to be well given, right? In order for you to not take it personally. And I feel like that's a skill. It's very hard to give feedback. And it's not easy either for the clients. And you know, some people, I've worked with such nice people too, that they don't want to like hurt you, or they're very careful in the way that they give the feedback. And I think we appreciate that too. And
that's nice.
But it's very important to the feedback. It's just essential.
Yes, very essential. And what are the skills you know, that contributed to your success
as a freelancer?
Yes.
You're saying I'm successful?
Oh yes, that's why people can check your website if you. They will see that you are definitely. So I have no doubt about that.
Thank you. You're very kind. So the skills that contribute to maybe not my success, but to, like, for me continuing to do what I do right now, I think I've learned it through working for an agency full time, doing rush projects, doing things for yesterday, as we say. And I think that would be like, because I had to produce so much work in so little time, I think that gave me it made me aware that I am capable of solving a design problem. And just being aware of that makes things easier, because each time I get a project, I do get a little anxious, and I do get the thoughts of, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do a good job with this, or, you know, but I do know that I'm gonna solve it somehow, even if it's not the best work that I do, or it's not like the most amazing design project. I do know that I'm gonna solve it, and I'm gonna deliver something. So I don't know if that's a skill, but I do feel like being self-aware about that is a good, like, for me, it's a good skill, because I just know I can sit and do the work, and I can respond to the client, and, you know, so I think that's it.
Yes, I think it's nice, because I don't know if you heard about it, but you know, there is what is called creative confidence, which basically says that anyone is capable of you know, creating something. And as you said, self-awareness is very important. You have to tell to yourself that you're able to do it. You have the abilities to do it. You are capable of doing it, because it will help you. The process will be easier, and the anxiety, as you said, will move. And no, I think that's very important to have this feeling, before starting any work, because it will help you for sure, and you will start your work being confident. So yes, thanks for sharing this.
You're welcome. It's funny because it's a big topic with the creatives, and it's like there's a duality, because most of my designer friends and some other designers I know that are amazing, they don't believe in themselves that much, which is the same case for me. Like, I doubt about my work like every day. Every time I start a project, I'm like, as I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do this correctly. And I feel like that's good. That's it's not a bad thing if it's not too much, but I'll solve it somehow. So there's the confidence, right? But that confidence is given by working a lot and solving things. And so this is like I guess we have to try to keep a balance on that. I don't know.
Yes, because it doesn't come from day one. So I mean, it's a whole process, and then working on different projects helps you to have this confidence, and then don't feel any anxiety when you get a new mission.
I don't know if that's possible. But
it depends, it depends on many things. So
yes, for sure.
Thanks for sharing. And could you tell us more about your future plans?
My future plans are basically the same as, I just want to keep improving my design skills and my design work. And I, of course, want to find more like bigger clients, bigger projects, meaningful projects that, of course, pay better, that are maybe more meaningful too for me. And I don't have like some other big plans besides that. I just want to keep working and creating things, and that's it basically.
No,
that's my plan.
That's nice, because you are hoping that you will get more work, so that's good. And can you tell us about a typical day of work for you?
So let's see, a typical day. So as I said before, my mornings are a little bit slow. I wake up, after going to the bathroom and all that, I make some coffee or some tea, and maybe I start my day by listening to some music or reading some things on social media, and then I start working in like I don't know, maybe half of the morning is when I will, like 10 a.m. Or something like that. Unless I do have to just start because I have a rush thing, I drink coffee and work right away. But then I take a break at noon, I eat a little bit, and then normally I work from like 1:30 to 6. That's like I always do. Well, since a few years ago, I've been doing that. And then I take a break too. I eat a little bit more, and I watch something, and then I just keep working, or they keep working. Yeah, but sometimes it's personal projects. Sometimes I don't keep working. I just watch some like a movie or something, you know.
Okay.
But I feel like the day is very long, the working hours, but like until now it has been very fulfilling. I do enjoy that process, even if it's like, especially if I do personal work at the end of the day. It's very cool. So yeah.
Okay, so basically you work 24/7.
No, I sleep too. I sleep sometimes 8 hours, sometimes 6. That depends. I sometimes do some exercise too.
Okay.
I would take one thing that helps me a lot to be creative too is just take a walk. And so yeah, when I do the breaks at noon or after 6, definitely I will take my time to just do a little walk and look around. That's a typical day of work, but of course I do other things. I go for, do my shopping.
Because at the beginning you said that your social life was like 0 at some moment. So when you told me that you work all day long and then you work on your personal, on personal stuff, so maybe you're working 24/7. That's why you don't have a social life. But that's
but now, like, that's a good thing about freelancing now. That now, like, for example, the other day a friend told me if I wanted to have coffee at I don't know what time it was, at 1 p.m. I think. And I said, yeah, why not? So we had coffee, we had a good conversation, 2 hours, and then I kept working. I can do that too now. So I do have a little bit more social life, for sure. Don't worry.
That's nice. And I have a question, regarding the light. Do you think that the light have any impact, especially in winter, on the creative process?
Oh yeah, for sure. Wow, that's a big topic for me, I think, because like when in summer I wanna be outside all of the time, and I wanna do things, and I just feel so energetic, I think. And when winter comes, it's the opposite, but it's not necessarily bad for the creative process or my creative life. I feel I do find that, or what I tell myself is that in winter, because I don't want to be outside so much. I'm from Venezuela. It's always summer there, always 30 degrees. So I'm not used to the cold, to like today, 4 degrees here. So I tell to myself that, I have to maybe enjoy the time and take advantage for creating more personal work. If I'm being at home, if I'm going to be at home more and work 24/7, I just have to enjoy it,
Yes.
So I'll be more, maybe I'll work more, but more on personal stuff too, and maybe do some more artistic projects too. So that's how it changes for me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that with us. And I ask you the question because I know that most of the time light, has an impact on, it can be the sun or, the electric one. Because most of the time during winter, we all have this kind of depression because the day is very very short, and then you have the evening, which start basically at 5 p.m. and you're kind of lost because there is no light anymore.
For sure.
And yes, I wanted to ask you about that because I read an article which was saying that it has an impact, on the creative process, but
it does. I don't know if it's for everyone, but
yes,
I do get. Go ahead.
No, maybe not all people, are concerned about this point, but maybe some people are, because I think that when you have, the evening very, very, in the afternoon, it's like, it's like, there is no more light. I'm talking about natural light,
Yes.
because
Yes.
because I had a friend, who was basically always drawing in a park, and in winter, he can do that. So it's like, his whole process is based from from maybe
Right.
April to September, and then everything changes for him. So
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
it's
It impacts him
yes.
more directly, maybe.
Yes.
But I do agree. Like, for me, it's true that I do get a little bit more melancholic during winter,
Okay.
and for sure. But what I said before, I try to take that and put it into the work. Of course,
Okay.
sometimes I don't feel like doing something. I'll just put a movie, and just listen to some music with a tea, because I feel a little
Yes.
bit sad. The day is so, like, it's 5 p.m. and it's dark outside, and I don't feel like working. Yeah, it does affect, and
Yes.
especially at the beginning of winter, I think. I
Yes.
remember a couple of months ago, like, just thinking it was like 6 or 7 p.m. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to finish the day and put on my pajamas or something. And when I see the hour, it's like, this is not possible. How is it? The day is not over yet. But yeah, for sure. I'll go back to the self-awareness thing. I just have to, I just think you have
Okay.
to be self-aware of how it affects you in order to
Yes.
maybe try to deal with it, or find a way to use it. I don't know, I think.
Yes. And the thing is that, I was also talking with someone who paints, and he was telling me that he can only do his work basically at night. And he basically has, a lot of spots on the wall, and then basically he start painting, and he can do it, anywhere except this place. If he go outside this place, he can't paint anymore.
Oh, really?
So
It's
yeah, so I was like, I mean, you have a lot of talent, but you can't, produce anything outside of this box,
maybe it's
basically this.
overwhelming. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but he was telling me that it's it's something that he put in place because he feel very good in this place. So nobody can enter, only him.
Oh,
And then
okay.
it's like, he maybe paints for 3 hours, 4 hours, or he can do something in 30 minutes. But
Yeah.
that's his way, of painting, and he can do it outside. I was,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, he's crazy. But no, he's not crazy, because when you see his painting, it's very interesting.
Amazing.
It's very
Yeah.
nice and beautiful, and
Yeah.
basically he created, his own way of creating. So
Yes. That's it.
it's
I think it's very important to, like, especially if it's artistic work.
yes,
I think it's important to know that, and just, and forget about what you're supposed to be doing, and just do it if
yes,
it works for you. I mean, of course, it's hard when you have to, if you work for a company and you have to be there from X time to, like,
yeah.
but for sure, if it works for him, I guess it's, yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah.
And the next question is, what are the most important lessons that you learned in the design industry?
I think I'll go back to the feedback a little bit more,
Okay.
because it has helped me not only, like, in my design, in my profession, in my design career or profession, but it expands to all.
Yes.
For me, it expands to all areas. At the beginning, of course, as I said before, like it was so hard getting feedback. I would get so insecure and so like angry or sad. Like, you know, someone tells you, you know, why don't you change these from yellow to blue? And only that it can just, you know, change your mood. And at the beginning, it's like that. At least it was for me. And then learning to take the feedback, because I don't know if it's the same for every profession, but like for designers, we are receiving feedback all day long.
All day long, yeah.
From the client, from the person you're working to, not only on your design, but on your idea, on your concept, on your research, all the things that come that you have to do before designing. So when you work, like when I work with this agency, and before that too, like I just had to tell myself, like, don't take it personally. Like, this is going to help you to create something better, and it does. Sometimes you do something and you think it's done and it's perfect, and then the feedback comes and you think, oh, this is going to ruin everything. But no, sometimes after that the design piece is much better. And so yeah, it's humbling, I think. And I take that, and you know, when I receive comments from friends in other areas of my life or from family, I just learn to, you know, take it easy and not take it personally, maybe if it's not. And yeah, so I think that's the major one. Of course, I'm sure there's some other ones, but that's a big one.
Well, yes, as you said, it's humbling, because when you know how to give feedback and you don't receive it as it should be, you learn to listen, you know, and then, as you said, it helps you to maybe create something better, as you said. And yes, I think that's humbling. Yes, very interesting as a point.
There's another side to that. Of course, you have to be confident and know if the feedback it really is feedback, and how to take it, and if you want to accept it and apply it. Like, of course, you cannot do that with like working for an agency. You have to respond to what they ask you to do, of course. If not, you're fired. But when you work for yourself and maybe directly with a client, and you take some feedback and you really think it's not, maybe it's not appropriate to make those changes, you have to be able to communicate that correctly too and give feedback back. And that's hard for me, I have to say. But yeah, definitely it's something that I'm learning to do, and yeah, I hope I'll get better at it.
Good luck with that, because
thank you.
I know it's difficult. Have you ever had a mentor?
I think I have had mentors, and plural, without knowing they were my mentors.
Okay.
And because at the university, I had a teacher. I had a couple of teachers that, you know, gave me advice, like personally, what to do, and I also go back to friends. Like I never searched for a mentor, like a formal mentor. You know, like this is something that is done a lot right now. I don't know if before, at least in the design world, and I feel like right now I have a couple of friends that, well, they are a couple. Designers, both of them. They are married, also from Venezuela, and they live in Canada. I work with them at this agency, and I feel like right now they are my mentors. They don't know it, maybe. And I didn't think about them that way, but each time we talk, they give me advice on designing, on other things too, how to approach a project, how to charge, and it has been very helpful. So yeah, I think I've had several mentors without knowing, maybe. Yeah,
that's nice. So going back to the feedback topic, do you think it's nice to have a mentor regarding this topic specifically? Because most of the time, they help you, they give you feedback most of the time. I think that having a mentor is always about a feedback, because they will tell you how to do things, etc. So what are your points about that? What is your point about that?
I think I don't remember your original question, but I think that it is very, for me, it has been very important. I have another friends, also a couple that are designers, but they don't design right now. They do more service design, and we had these sessions where we will give, the three of us together, and we will give feedback to each other.
Okay.
And we would take notes and respond to that too. Maybe well, yes, in this you're right, I cannot do this, but I can do the other thing, and for me it's very, very, very helpful. I don't know if for everyone it's like that, but it's very important. And sometimes friends, it's tricky because friends don't want to hurt you, but also they can be very straightforward, which I appreciate a lot.
They can break you definitely. So
yes,
you have to be careful with friends' feedback.
That's true. It is true. But I do like to receive good and deep feedback. Like not like superficial things, but it definitely helps. It has helped me to maybe to even be more creative, to do better work, to approach, to communicate. Yeah, very, very important. Yes, for sure.
Nice. And going back to your, to your typical day of work, I wanted to ask you, how do you, maximize your productivity throughout the day? Do you have some tricks?
I don't know if my answer is going to be helpful for anyone, but I don't feel like I'm a big, like I see all these YouTube videos now, people being productive, making lists, making these, and I don't feel like I have any of that. It's not that I'm unorganized or maybe a little bit, I don't know, but I don't have like a, like a go-to thing to be productive. I think if at the start of the day, I do know which things I want to get done, that helps me. Not just starting the day without really knowing what you are going to do. That helps me. And then the days I'm more productive are maybe the days that I don't work at home. I go to I go to a co-work space nearby a couple of times a week, sometimes like 3 days or maybe 4, depends. And when I'm there, everyone is working, everyone is doing their own thing, and so I have to do that too. And I just put some music. I wouldn't be able to work without music. I don't know why. I just when I can go through 4, 5, or 6 hours of work without interruption if I do that. And so those days I really feel productive. I feel like maybe I didn't do a lot of things, but I did maybe one thing or work in one project with a lot of attention. And, so yes, again, I don't know if that's an answer to your question, because it's not like, I don't try to just do things all day long, I try to be more like intentional on what I'm doing, I guess. But yeah, sometimes I do a lot of things, and maybe I don't feel as productive creatively. I don't know. So yeah, that's my weird answer.
Okay. No, that's nice, because as you said, you go to a co-working space, and as you said, everyone is working, so you have to work. So yes, I think that's a good point.
because at home sometimes you allow yourself. I make a tea and then I go for some something to snack on, and then I make another tea, and then I take a walk. If
And then
I
another
mean,
snack.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. So of course, if I have a lot of things to do, I just do them, and but it's easy. It's more easy to just procrastinate a little bit more.
Yes,
and,
definitely.
yeah.
And then also music, so it helps you
Yes.
navigate through your creation. So
yeah,
that's
I don't know why. Sometimes it's not a specific type of music. It depends on what I'm doing, actually.
Okay, so there is no specific songs that you listen to, and no. Okay.
Well,
do you have a playlist?
During a time it changes through
Okay.
time. So during a time, I not until recently, I listened to this playlist from Bon Entendeur. That is
okay.
I don't know if you know them, but they're very yes. So these French guys are amazing, and I love their music, and they have an account in SoundCloud, which I go when because they make these pieces that are like 1 hour long or more, and so without interruption. And so this is kind of like electronic for people that doesn't know what it's about. It's kind of like electronic music, but it's not very hard, I think.
Okay.
So that I think I used that for like a couple of years to sit and work, especially if I have to sit and do something that is a rush and I have to concentrate. I would put that kind of music, like upbeat, nothing like too relaxing, because then I'll be
you will sleep
during
the process, and then
sometimes I put some rock if I really need to. I don't know, so it depends.
Okay. So music that is very where we can say that there is a lot of movement, so you can't sleep during your task. So that's
I'll dance a little. I'll dance a little bit, but
but not at the co-working space, right?
I try not to. Sometimes I'm like so into it that and I'm like, Valentina, stop, this is distracting maybe for other people. But I just I don't know, it really works for me. I just forget about everything, and I just concentrate, and it's a very it's kind of like a weird state where you're just so focused that you don't pay attention to anything else.
So regarding what you said, basically you are trying to remove everything which is outside of your mind, and then you only focus on your design. And that's interesting, because not everyone is able to do that. Because, for example, if you have someone sitting near you and is always getting a coffee and coming back, etc., if there is noise, so yes, that's also a whole process that you have to create.
I think that's it. You're right. You have to create it, because like I intentionally put my phone away without it's in silence. Like if I know I want to, like, for me it's a decision. I need to finish this, and so I'm gonna put myself in this place. So I put my phone away. I put my music. I know it's kind of maybe. I don't know how to say, like, it's kind of weird to do that in a place where you go because there's more people, right? And you just disconnect from everything else. So why don't stay at home, right? But it does help. And yes, so I put my music. Of course, I get sometimes interruption from friends that come to say hi. but if I'm into what I'm doing, I just can't go back to that state of focus. But yeah, it is a decision. I think you can create and maybe look for the things that work for you. I guess for me, that's what works. Maybe for some other people, they do need like the silence and empty space. I don't. Yeah.
Well, that's great. And, what are the tools that make your life easier on a daily basis?
The tools. Super in-depth is one. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I'm here. You will never know. No, I'm just kidding. It does make my life easier because I wouldn't be able to do all the invoicing and without it, and like the declarations. I wouldn't be able to. So I don't have to think too much about that, and that's great. And then other tools. I don't know. I don't use as like that many things. I believe my design programs, of course, are very useful. And recently I've been using like Dropbox, and that helps me a lot because I can just send a link and the client or the person will just, and I have it in my phone. It's very helpful. And I don't know. I don't use that many.
Okay. Is there any apps, maybe any app that you use
for designing?
Designing or something that makes your life easy?
I'm not a big app person, but of course I have Spotify and but like, but I don't know, like for work, I don't think I have, apart my design apps and my design softwares, I don't use that many things. I think maybe things for taking notes, that helps. Oh, I do use Notion a lot.
Notion, okay.
Yes, it's very helpful because I have everything there, from personal to work to business related. And when I want to take notes or just know the timeline of a project, I go there. That is a big one also for me. Yes,
Notion is a very very nice tool because especially, for example, for links, you can save links, and you can keep them aside and going back, to them later. And I think that's also for notes. I use it for notes, and I think that's a very, very nice tool. And going back to design tools, so for you, what is the best one?
Right now, it's a tricky question because there's this program that is called Figma, and I feel like they knew what we wanted, or maybe the people that created this.
They spied on you.
Yeah, maybe they are just designers as me or as other people. But it's so good. You can do so many things with that, and it makes your life easier in a daily basis. I don't use it that much right now because I do have clients that require me like to work on Illustrator, on Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop, and but I feel like Figma is very, very, very good. It's just they make things easier for you, like to change, I don't know, colors, typefaces, and it's just very user friendly. I think that's a big one. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, the Figma is a very, very crazy tool. I mean, as you said, I think that they spied on designers too.
Yeah, I feel like they must be really good at feedback. Because to make,
I mean, to produce a tool like that, I mean, you must be, I mean, feedback in person, maybe.
Yes, in the what I was going to say, the improvements they do on a regular basis is amazing. I feel like they nailed it with this program. And yeah, so I would say to designers that if you don't know that, just take a look.
Yes.
And yeah, yes, it's helpful.
Okay. And I wanted to also ask you, what is the most common myth about designers?
I like this question. Because I think the most common one is that we only do things thinking about the aesthetic, and we just want to make things pretty.
Okay.
And I get angry when people say that, or they not angry, but but I do like to discuss about it, because of course I don't know the specific things that other people do in their each of their professions. So for designers, I think this is one of them. Like, before starting a design, we do so much research, looking for an idea, a concept that drives the whole design, and we don't select colors just by oh, I think I like red and I'm gonna use it. No, we have to think about like the impact that the color has. Maybe in websites, if it's going to get the reader to tired after looking at it, or if that type of letters is going to be helpful for the reader to read. All those little things. So yeah, it's not only about making things. Of course, if you can make it pretty in the way, that's cool. But it has to be practical, functional before being pretty, or just because of it. So yeah, I think that's the biggest myth.
Yes, I know that because as a former fashion designer, most of companies, they always wanted something pretty. It has to look pretty, etc. And one day I met someone, a fashion designer, who doesn't even know how to draw.
Okay. Yes.
So basically what he was doing was, if he had any idea about a collection, so he was writing about it. And then he gave this, his notes to someone who know how to draw. And then he had access to his collection, And someday he applied for a job, and they asked him, can you draw something for us? And he said, no, I can't, because I don't know how to draw. So they told him, so how can you be a fashion designer if you don't know how to draw? Right. So it was like, a crazy conversation. So he explained the whole process, and they didn't trust him because, they told him, we can't hire someone who don't know how to draw, because, we need, basically we can't hire two people, someone, someone who write about the collection and someone who is going to draw, especially the technical drawings, which sometimes can be very, very difficult in fashion design. So it was amazing because, his work was very, very nice, but as he doesn't know how to draw, basically, he writes about it. And it's pretty crazy because he always finds someone who, who finally draw the collection, and it's very nice. So sometimes, you may not have, the ability to do something, the skills to do something, but you can do it at the end of the day with some tricks.
For sure,
Yes, I think that it's only
especially now.
Yes, especially now, because there are a lot of tools which helps you. So now we heard a lot about AI. So know, AI can do a lot of things. And then I think that we can go back to creative confidence, which I was talking about, you know. And I think that it's very interesting because you can create in a different way, you know. Maybe I don't know how to use some programs to design, but I can maybe guide you to do something special, to do something nice. I'm pretty, so why not? You know? You can do stuff, you know, without necessarily, you know, knowing how to use tools, or I think it's a question of vision, maybe, and how you see things. So
exactly, I feel like that's it. The idea is really maybe sounds a little bit cliche to say that the idea is what matters. Of course, if he knows how to draw, it's gonna be helpful for him. And I don't know about fashion designers, but like in the design world, also like the graphic design world, I remember at university teachers saying that if you don't know how to draw, you cannot be a graphic designer. And it's like oh my god, so I guess I just changed you know, like in my case, I really enjoy drawing, so it has never been a problem, and I still do drawings for the projects, but I know people that doesn't know how to draw, and they make amazing things. And I remember also like this friend that does 3D work, videos, and he's amazing, but he never knew how to draw. And I remember this teacher telling him that, you know, if he didn't know to do it with a pencil and a paper, he said just try it with something else, maybe a collage, maybe a photo, and you know, if you have to use the computer to draw, just go ahead. But there are ways out, or not ways out, but there are alternatives if you have the vision and the idea. And so for sure, it's not like I don't feel like you need a specific skill to create something, and you can find ways around, especially now, as we said.
Yes, especially now, yes. And I wanted to ask you, is there a challenge right now in the industry, and how do you deal with it?
There are many challenges right now in the industry, but I guess if I have to talk about one, I think it's staying like relevant in the industry, because there are so many new things and so many programs, now there's artificial intelligence, and it's hard to stay relevant and to keep learning, and that's a big challenge. So I do try to I'm not too good at this, I think, to, you know, keeping up with the new trends and the new things that are coming out, but I do try to learn a little bit of animation, and maybe as I said, like there's a new program that is being used by everyone, Figma, so I'll try to learn that too a little bit, you know, like to just to try to be up to date with the things that are going on, but of course without doing the things that you like to do. It's not like I'm gonna just right now I'm just gonna start making 3D because that's what's selling. No, but I do try to at least keep learning a little bit. And so there's so many new things coming out, and not only that, but the younger people that is coming from design school, they're just so good, and so they can do a website, a typography, like so many things that, you know, it wasn't my case. You go out of university and you just you know, a little bit of printing and and layout, but you have to like you cannot stop learning, and if you stop using like a program for 1 year, you'll be completely lost when you go back to it. So I think that's it.
And is there, you know, a trend or a revolution which is coming in the design industry, and if you, do you have any leads on that?
I think you just said it. I'm not, I'm not a big, I don't think too much about trends, about what's coming. I don't know why. I'm present. I don't know if that's good in this for this topic, but a big thing right now is artificial intelligence. And, in the design industry is a hot topic right now, because some people is like very unhappy about it. Like we don't need artificial intelligence to make art. And some people is like, well, it's just a tool as the other ones we use, right? But I feel like, that's a big one. I don't even know how is it going to impact the design industry in this for this example, but it's a big one, because already I do hear designers saying that they are using artificial intelligence to conceptualize something, to get ideas. So maybe, I don't know if the for example, a creative director is going to be impacted by this. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's for sure it's a big thing that is going to. I don't think it's going to go away. It's going to keep evolving
Yes, especially the fact that you have some websites now where you can basically type I want to to see a beautiful painting representing the sun with etc. So, and basically it generates a picture. So I don't know if it will replace the work done by a human. But I think maybe we can use it to do some stuff, maybe as you said, to conceptualize maybe, but not the whole work. I think that it's only that you can use, but not to do anything.
I feel like
everything.
I think maybe I'm a little hopeful about this, a little positive. I don't know. I do feel like, because it's novelty, it's something that is just starting to be out there. You can just, the other day someone showed me how you can tell the AI to write a paper about a topic, and just like perfectly does it. And I do feel like, at least for the design and art industry, because it's something new, people is going to, be interested about it, try to use it. But I feel like, well, I don't know. I'm not specialized in like humanity or anything, but I do feel like we appreciate genuine work as humans, even if we do have like tools, and we will always go back to that piece, or that something that is created by someone with like real intention. And so I do feel like it's going to be a tool, artificial intelligence, that will help us maybe do some small things or big ones, but in a quick way, without replacing the creative work, the artistic works out there. I don't know, or maybe I'm just completely wrong, and we are lost. And I'm not.
The way sure, the way I see things, regarding this topic is that I don't think that AI or robots will replace humans at the end of the day, because I think that we don't use, all the brain capacities that we have, and I'm sure that what you're going to produce will be 1,000 times better than a website who is offering to generate an image. So I have no doubt about that, but let's see, maybe, as you say, maybe we are lost, or maybe we'll see that AI is not going to replace anyone at the end of the day. So will still be there. And before the last question, I wanted to get back to to anxiety regarding the creative process. Can you tell us what is your view on this topic, and maybe give us some tricks to get out of this?
It's such a big topic, and it's for me, I don't know for all designers, but for me it's a big one, because it's when you create something for someone else, it's so, as I said at the beginning, you get so on your head, what if I'm doing this wrong? What if I'm not good enough? And but I do feel now that anxiety can be a motivator, or it's supposed to be the reason for anxiety to be there, right? It's a motivator, and it allows you to do things and make things and get things done. So right now, like I swear to you, each time I start a design project, I'm anxious. Each time. There's no like one time that I've said like, oh, I'm relaxed, I'm gonna start doing this, I'm so relaxed, it's gonna be great. No, each time I start and I have anxiety, I think that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but at the same time, I've learned by being self-aware, I guess, that anxiety is going to go away, and I'm just gonna be able to do the work. So because I really know that. I really know that the anxiety is going to go away, even if it takes me, even if I have to take a walk before keep going with the project, it's going to go away. And so I just feel like I cannot take the anxiety too seriously. At the beginning, it's there. I watch it. I'm like, okay, I'm anxious, and maybe I'll have less coffee or something, and I'll just take a breathe a little bit, or I don't know. But for me, it's like now it's normal. I don't expect I don't expect that it goes away.
And, so you include it in your process.
Oh yeah. The first thing is anxiety. Someone contacts me yeah, for sure. Someone tells me, Valentina, can you work on this? What do you think? We have this new client or this new project coming in, and the first thing I think is anxiety. But I'm gonna talk for me. Like I have to be careful, because sometimes we tend to categorize it as, or classify it, I don't know, as anxiety, because it's a word that we hear a lot right now. But sometimes it's not. Like for me, I can also describe it as emotion. Like I'm just excited, as excitement. Sorry, I'm just excited about these new things, and of course, I get this. My heart starts beating a little bit faster. And maybe we call it anxiety, but it's also excitement. So it's not always bad. But for sure, I start like I feel this every day. So, but I just have to deal with it and learn to cope. And I guess. Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you for sharing. And it's I think yes, maybe you have to include it in your process, and also you don't have no choice, because as you said, maybe excitement also is a part of the the job, because you love the new opportunity, and then as you said, your heart is beating like like crazy. And then I think that you also have to I would say accept the fact that all these emotions are maybe normal, and just find a way to not be too excited. So your mind basically blows. But yes, I think that you have to accept all of these emotions and work with them.
Yes, but for sure, I guess some other tricks would be like, I mean, I not always control this or manage it in a good way. Sometimes I do get like, I really believe I cannot do something, and I get in a, it's not even anxiety anymore. It's like depression or sadness, or I don't know, like self-doubt, imposter syndromes, everything, right? Yeah. But sometimes I would tell a friend like, I'm not feeling very good right now. I don't think I can do this. And because I work with friends mostly, this is a good thing. They will say like, you always go through this. You are capable of doing this. Just go ahead. If you need help, just tell us. And that's an important thing too. If you like, for me, if I start a project like this in a bad situation emotionally, I would just say it. You know what? I'm just freaking out. I have to take an hour or two or maybe a day to start working on this, and that's it. So yeah, it's not like reach out for help or maybe for some words of that make you feel better is also maybe a trick. I don't know, and not take it too seriously. Too, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking as if I know everything, but I'm still learning. Maybe in a few months I'll think differently about this, but for now this is this is what I do. Yeah.
Yes, but it's nice what you said about the fact that maybe if you can't start right away, you can eventually take a walk. And I think also visualization is very important when you start a new work, and think about how you're going to do it. When are you going to start? You're going to drink coffee, etc., etc. And yes, I think that maybe it's a good thing to not start right away.
Right away.
Yes, and keep a moment for you when you can eventually think about it and clear your mind.
Yeah, exactly. This is why being a freelancer is so much easier, because like working with an agency, I would say like, I just have to start. I just have to do it. And sometimes you don't have another option. Sometimes you can get a little bit more time for, to just start later. But being a freelancer is definitely helpful in that regard because, sometimes I just cannot. Maybe sometimes I'll start right away, but then I need a day to look at what I did with a different set of mind or a different perspective. So yeah, all of that is helpful.
That's very interesting. So the last question is, what is your favorite quote?
I don't have anything favorite. It's very hard to have one favorite thing. I don't know how people sometimes just know, oh, this is my favorite song or movie. I'm gonna tell you a quote that some friends hate, but I find very useful. It's nothing weird. I promise. I find very useful, which is better done than perfect. And I have these friends that they think about this as like maybe some is telling you to be how you say it, like to not want to improve in something. It's better done. It doesn't matter if it's that good. But for me, because sometimes I'm very perfectionist with my work, I won't say something is finished because it's not perfect, and I just let it, especially with personal work. I just keep things on a folder for years because it's not there yet. It's not perfect, It's not as I imagine it would be. So better done than perfect. For me, it allows me to, okay, I did this. It is what it is right now. It's good. I just gonna put it out there, maybe in social media. I don't know. And but I will keep working on it and try to make it better also. So it's not like, it's not just producing something out of like just to put things out there or to finish something. It's just, okay, I did my best for this. It's not perfect maybe, but it's my best. And I will, and the next time I will be better at it, or make it try to make it a little bit better. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but so yeah, that's a long answer to your question.
Okay. No, that's nice.
But,
I think that's also a good point regarding the job you are doing, because it can be perfect. So I mean, it can be you or another designer. I mean, it's never perfect. So I think, yes, you did the job, and it is what it is. So it's okay. Exactly. At the end of the day, you did your task, and that's it. So
yeah, and I believe that the more you do something, the better you'll get at it. So yeah, it not each thing has to be perfect. So
and there is nothing perfect at the end of the day also. So
exactly.
It's also reassuring the fact that you did something, and it's okay. As you said, next time maybe it will be better. So
yeah,
that's nice. So thank you so much, Valentina, for accepting this invitation and sharing all of this with us. I'm sorry for my English. As you can see, it's not perfect.
So, it's better than my French. I will tell you that.
So better done than perfect, I would say. And we'll keep in touch. And you take care from there. And
thank you so much for thank you for having me. Yeah, and for doing this in English. I know that but believe me, I think this is better than if we have done it with my French, which is not that good. not really. So yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I hope everything goes well for you. And talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Valentina. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.